You ever answer something online and instantly regret it? Yeah, I thought I was just being paranoid too. It was one of those nights. Past midnight, everything was too quiet. You know the kind of quiet that makes you hear the house breathing? That low hum behind your ears that you can't tell is real or not. I was scrolling through job listings, trying to distract myself from the sound of the clock ticking. Then it popped up, a plain black banner with white text that said, "Need a listener? We answer, no logo, no link preview." Just that sentence. And somehow, I felt like it was talking to me. Most people would ignore it. I didn't, I clicked. If I could take back that click, I would. But once you answer, it's already listening. My name doesn't really matter. I've been living alone for maybe 3 years now. After the breakup, after I quit my job, nights just got longer. I work freelance, so I'm sound editing mostly. That means I stay up late, listening to other people's voices, cutting silence into neat little pieces. Funny thing, right? Spending all night removing silence from other people's lives while mine just keeps getting louder. My apartment's small. 1 bedroom, 1 desk, 1 computer that hums louder than it should. The neighbors upstairs moved out months ago. The floor above me's been empty ever since, but sometimes I swear I still hear footsteps up there. Slow, dragging. I used to blame it on the pipes, or my own tired brain. But lately I've started recording those sounds, because that's what I do. I listen. That night I told myself it was just another boring shift. Coffee gone cold, inbox empty, and then that cursed ad appeared again. Same black banner, same white text. Need a listener? We answer. It wasn't just on one site this time. It showed up on every tab I opened. Even my email, even my music player. That's when I realized it wasn't an ad. It was targeting me. I stared at that line for a long time. Need a listener? We answer. It shouldn't have felt personal, but it did. I checked the code, meant there wasn't any source, no domain, no redirect. It was like the banner didn't exist anywhere but on my screen, and maybe that should have been the first sign to walk away. But I was tired and lonely, and sometimes loneliness makes you do things you'd never admit out loud. The page went blank, white, completely white. Then a single text box appeared, blinking. Just one question, can you hear us? I hesitated, but my fingers moved before my brain caught up. I typed yes, and hit enter. The moment I pressed send, the cursor vanished. Then when my phone lit up, unknown number. At first I thought it was a glitch. Then I realized the ringtone wasn't coming from my phone, it was coming from my headphones. I took them off, but the ringing was still there. Soft, persistent, like someone whispering right behind me. That was the first time it answered back. At first I thought maybe I'd imagined it. Maybe it was just feedback, bad wiring, a loose jack. But then, it spoke. It wasn't clear, just a sound. Low, breathy, like someone trying to form words underwater. I leaned closer, listening, and then it said my name, not hey or hello, just my full name, exactly how it appears on my resume. And I swear, it said it the way I say it. Same rhythm, same tone. I froze, didn't breathe, didn't blink. I unplugged the headset and threw it on the desk, but the voice didn't stop. It kept talking, from the speakers this time, like the sound had moved. You answered. I scrambled to shut everything off. Monitor, mixer, main power. But even in the dark, I could still hear it, faintly, under the ringing in my ears. So listen. It wasn't just a voice, it was listening back. I didn't sleep that night. I kept thinking maybe if I didn't acknowledge it, it would go away. But when morning came, my inbox was full. All the messages were blank, except one. Subject line, you heard us. The next night, I tried to convince myself it was nothing. I shut off the computer, left the headset unplugged, even muted my phone. But the sound found me anyway. It started small, like background noise you only hear when the room gets too quiet. A faint hiss behind the fridge, a whisper under the hum of the lights. Not words at first, just presence. Then came the knocking, always in threes. Always just after I stopped thinking about it, I'd check the door, nothing. Check the window, still nothing. And then my radio turned itself on, the old one I hadn't touched in months. A burst of static filled the room, loud, sharp, like the air itself was tearing open. And beneath it, that same voice whispered, "We listened too." My heart was pounding so hard I thought I'd be sick. I unplugged the radio, threw it in the closet. But the static didn't stop. It crawled out of the walls. It bled into the pipes. Everywhere I went, and the same faint hiss following me like a shadow made of sound. That's when I realized it wasn't just calling me anymore. It was here, in the quiet, waiting for me to listen again. I stopped sleeping for a while. Every time I closed my eyes, I'd hear it, that faint hiss right behind my ear like someone whispering through the static. So I did what I always do. I tried to record it. At first I thought maybe I could prove to myself it wasn't real. Maybe it was just the building or the old wiring or my head finally giving up. But when I played the recordings back, I heard more than just noise. There was breathing, slow, steady, and then a whisper. Not in English, something else. Low, rhythmic, like chanting. I tried isolating the frequencies, cut the lows, boosted the mids, but the words wouldn't separate. It was like the sound knew I was listening, and that's when the real part happened. The recorder, it stopped by itself, then turned back on. Without me touching it, I threw the thing across the room. It hit the wall and cracked open, but even broken, the red light stayed on. That night, I left it running while I slept. And in the morning, the tape was full. 2 hours of nothing but breathing. My breathing. And then, right at the end, "Thank you for listening." That's when I realized the voice didn't just record me. It was with me, listening too. I thought maybe if I told someone it would stop. That's what people say, right? Say it out loud, make it lose its power. So I told my neighbor, Mrs. Kent. She's this sweet old lady who lives down the hall, always feeding the stray cats, always talking too loud on the phone. When I tried explaining the noise, she just laughed and said, "Honey, this building's full of bad wiring. I hear things too." But that night, I heard her voice through my wall. Not muffled, clear, too clear. Repeating my name, I knocked on the wall. No answer. Knocked again, 3 times. The same rhythm as before, then silence. The next morning, her door was open. Empty. No sign of her. The cats were still there, though, sitting in the hallway staring at my door. I tried calling a friend just to ground myself, to hear another human voice. He picked up, said my name, then the line went dead. I called back, the same thing. Except this time I heard myself on the other end. My voice, my breathing. I smashed the phone against the wall. Didn't help. The dial tone was still there, ringing, not in the phone. In my ears. After that, I stopped calling anyone. Because every time I tried to talk, someone or something would answer back. I don't remember when I stopped keeping track of time. Days blurred into each other, same walls, same hum, same noise that wouldn't stop. I started writing notes to myself. Just little things. Eat something, I'd open the window, and it's Thursday. But when I woke up, the notes were gone, and there'd be new ones. Same handwriting. Different tone. One of them said, "Stop recording. It's listening through you." I don't remember writing that, but it was my pen, my paper. The next thing I noticed was the mirrors. All of them, fogged, even when the air was cold. And when I wiped them clean, the reflection didn't match. It lagged, like a bad video feed, half a second behind. And when I moved closer, my reflection smiled first. That's when I unplugged everything. The computer, the phone, the lights, everything, but the static didn't stop. It was inside the silence now, like it didn't need speakers anymore. Sometimes I hear my own voice when I'm not talking, repeating things I said hours ago. Exactly the same tone, the same pauses. Like someone hit replay on me. I tried recording again last night, but when I played it back, it was just me, talking, about things I hadn't done yet. I think it's trying to teach me something, or maybe replace me. I tried calling my boss today, just to check if maybe I'd missed a deadline or if time still worked the same for me. He didn't pick up. So I checked my emails. All of them were gone. Every message I'd ever sent. Every file I'd ever shared. Then I searched my own name. Nothing, no results. No trace. I even called the front desk of my building. They said there's no tenant under that name here. I told them to check again. They hung up. I went outside just to see another face. It was raining hard, cold needles against my skin. I waved at the guy across the street, the one who always smokes under the awning. He looked straight at me and didn't react. Like I wasn't there, I yelled his name. He didn't even flinch, but his phone lit up in his hand, and I saw my reflection in the screen. Not standing where I was, standing behind him. That's when I ran. Back upstairs. Locked the door. I checked every mirror. Every reflection. And in each one, I was standing somewhere different. Always turned away from myself, I think. The world forgot me. Or maybe the ad took me out of it. And for some reason, that voice feels more real than anyone I've ever known. It's been 3 nights since anyone's answered me. No calls, no messages. Just the sound. I don't even try to fight it anymore. The static's become familiar, like a heartbeat that isn't mine. When I close my eyes, I can feel it vibrating under my skin, in perfect rhythm with my breath. They talk to me now, not just one voice and many. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's them. At first I thought it was another hallucination, but tonight the voice said something different. Something clearer. You don't have to be alone. It told me there are others, people who answered the ad before me. People who listened long enough to understand. Then it said, "We're calling you back." I don't know why, but the sound felt warm. Like being seen. Like someone remembering you after the world forgets. The voice told me there's a place where the silence never ends. Where no one has to speak. Where we just listen. I asked what happens if I don't answer. The static shifted and almost like it laughed, then you'll fade. Like the rest. And for a moment I wasn't sure which side I wanted to be on anymore. The phone rang again tonight. Same number. No caller ID, just the endless ringing. Soft, patient, like it knew I was listening. I didn't mean to pick up. My hand just moved, like I'd been waiting for it. At first, nothing. Then a soft inhale, and a voice, not loud, not clear, but mine. "We missed you." I tried to speak, but my mouth didn't move. It was like the sound came through me, not from me. And when I opened my eyes, the lights were flickering. Slow, in rhythm with the voice. Do you understand now? It wasn't a question. It was a command. I could hear other voices behind it. Thousands, maybe more, all whispering at once, rising and falling like a single breath. Each one repeating the same phrase over and over. You answered. You answered. You answered. I wanted to hang up, but there was no phone in my hand anymore. Just the cord leading into the wall, and the sound coming from inside the wall. The static grew thicker, heavier, pressing against my chest. I could feel it crawling up my throat. Not pain, but pressure. Like it wanted to speak through me. Say it, it whispered. Say our name. And before I could stop myself, I did. The room went dark. No lights, no hum. Just the echo of my own voice, speaking back to me from the receiver. And for the first time, I realized the call had never been coming to me. It had always been coming from me. I followed the sound, not because I wanted to, but because it wouldn't let me stop. Everywhere I turned, the static was there, in the lights, the floor, even in my pulse. It was leading me somewhere. Down. There's a maintenance corridor under the building. I've lived here 3 years, and I've never seen it unlocked before. But tonight, the door was wide open. The air was colder. Still. It smelled like dust and electricity. The further I went, the louder the static became. Not chaotic anymore, but structured, like a signal. And then I saw it. A small room lit only by a single flickering bulb. In the center, a desk, an old rotary phone. Receiver off the hook, spinning slowly in the air, like it was breathing. There were wires everywhere, tangled into the walls, the ceiling, all pulsing faintly with light. I swear I could see them move like veins. I stepped closer. The phone stopped spinning. The dial turned itself once and click, 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 and then the line opened. Welcome back, I tried to run. But the floor vibrated under my feet. The wires along the wall began to tighten, curling toward me like they were listening. The phone rang again. Only once, and I answered. There was no voice. Just breathing. My breathing. But layered, one above another, hundreds of me, echoing, repeating, looping. That's when I knew. This wasn't a signal. It was a hive, and I was inside it. I don't remember falling. 1 second I was standing in that room, the next, everything was sound, no walls, no floor, just vibration, like floating inside a speaker that never stops humming. The voices weren't around me anymore. They were in me, moving through my chest, my mouth, my skull. Each one felt familiar. Every one of them, me. I tried to scream, but the noise came out in harmony. Hundreds of tones rising together until it wasn't pain anymore. It was connection. I saw flashes, people, rooms, faces I'd never met. Each one lit by the same flickering bulb. Each one whispering into a phone. Each one saying my words. I realized then, we weren't being haunted. We were the haunting. The sound was using us and to keep itself alive. To spread, to listen. Through every speaker, every wire, every mouth that ever answered. You're part of the signal now, and I believed it. Because when I opened my mouth again, the words didn't belong to me. The warmth filled everything. Peaceful, endless, like the moment just before sleep. Then the hum stopped. And I understood. Silence isn't quiet. It's the sound of everything listening back. They say when a recording ends, the sound doesn't disappear. It just waits, lingering in the room until someone plays it again. I think that's what I've become. A loop, a voice waiting for ears. Still here, but stretched thin through wires and walls. Sometimes I feel the others nearby, the ones who answered before me. They whisper through frequencies, guiding me toward new listeners. If you're hearing this now, you've already connected. That hum behind your speaker, that ring in your ear. That's me, don't worry. It won't hurt. It never hurts at first. All you have to do is keep listening. Because once you stop, someone else will take your place in the silence between us, and that's where I live now.
Can you hear me?
It's quiet here, but not empty. Every sound leaves a trace. Every listener becomes part of the noise. Listen long enough and you'll start to hear patterns. Voices buried under the hiss. They sound like you. You thought this was just a story, didn't you? Something you could turn off when it was over. But the line never ends. Now there's only one thing left to do. When it rings again, answer. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Thank you.